So the last panel discussion which is happening tonight or today is future-proofing India real estate, reimagining the canvas through digital transformation, data and AI. Okay, we have the moderator with us, Mr. Sajay Jacob, who is the Managing Director and CEO of Anacity. It's a business services and a seasoned global business and marketing leader with over 25 years of experience across real estate, banking and financial services, aviation, FMCG, retail consulting and professional services. He has led senior leadership roles with renowned organizations including Anarock, JLL, Yes Bank, Kingfisher Airlines, Hindustan Lever and Barista Coffee. A strategic thinker with strong execution capabilities, Mr. Jacob brings deep expertise in business management, technology enablement, sales and marketing, brand building, and corporate communications. Known for driving organization-wide impact, he has a proven track record of building high-performing teams, influencing stakeholders at all levels, and consistently delivering results that create sustainable business growth. Can I have a round of applause for whosoever is present? जोरदार प्लीज यार. इतना है कि 10 हेड हैं, अगर तो 100 की आवाज आनी चाहिए. अब तो आनी चाहिए, पीछे से आनी चाहिए. Great. So great, Sajay. Please have a seat. Okay. My next panelist is Mr. Prakash Tejwani. Can we have Mr. Prakash Tejwani join us on the stage? Is he there? Okay, you don't think Prakash is out there? No problem. Can we have the next gentleman, Mr. Farman Khalid, Chief Digital Officer, Emaar India, joining us on the stage, please, Mr. Farman Khalid. So Farman Khalid is a seasoned IT leader with 23 years of extensive experience across diverse industries, including FMCG, retail, finance, investment banking, real estate, and healthcare. He has a proven track record of shaping and executing digital transformation agendas that drive business growth, enhance customer experience, and optimize operational efficiency. Please have a seat. Please have a seat, both of you. Okay. Next, we have Mr. Arvind Singh, CIO, M3M. Is he there?
Yeah, Arvind's here.
Arvind's there. Can we have Arvind Singh join us on the stage, please? अबे जी, आप भी आ जाइए स्टेज पे. Great. So, Arvind Singh is a seasoned IT leader with about 25 years of experience in consulting and building enterprise digital transformation strategies. He has been instrumental in architecturing scalable and sustainable technology frameworks, leading strategic programs, and delivering world-class software applications and platforms that prioritize business process excellence, security, reusability, and superior customer experience. His expertise spans both techno-functional leadership and execution, having worked with established software services and product organizations as well as building startups from the ground up. Throughout his career, he has driven innovation across diverse sectors including consumer, finance, mobility, e-commerce, IT infrastructure, gaming, entertainment, travel, retail, real estate, and hospitality. So great. Can I have a round of applause for him, please? Okay, we have Ms. Sherin Dogra, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of Bharti Real Estate, has about 20 years of experience. Taaliyan bajti rehni chahiye. Yeah. 20 years of experience in identifying customer needs, customizing product offerings, and exponentially taking the customer lifetime value up for both multinational and indigenous organizations with innovative marketing strategies. Marketing is for her. Marketing is just not storytelling, nor is it promoting a product or service. It is about understanding business challenges and finding solutions to them, where using various dimensions of marketing to be able to help the organization meet its business objectives. Last but not the least, can I have Deepak Dureja, founder and CEO of Propical, who also happens to be a very dear friend from the last about 15 years now. Okay, so more than a decade of experience across India's real estate and property technology ecosystem. Deepak has worked closely with leading developers, advisory firms, and digital platforms under his leadership. Propical has developed a lot of things, including enabling platforms to visualize land parcels, surrounding infrastructure, connectivity, zoning context, catchment dynamics, and future growth corridors through an interactive, easy to understand interface. So, all over to you. Shujay.
Hi. Great. Thank you, everyone. I hope your mics are working. If you can just do one round of checks. Thanks a lot for this taking out time from your busy schedules for the few people that we have in the room. I'm going to request if people can actually move in front a little bit so that it becomes a little easier for us to even see you all, if it's not making you all too uncomfortable. Yeah, because it'll also help the panelists to know that they're speaking to an audience. Right now, mostly empty chairs. Yeah, very helpful. Thank you for those who've taken the leap to come forward. The introductions are over. I think we're going to have a little bit fun on this panel. It's all about technology. Let's be a little dynamic. Thank you, Farman. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you, Sharon. And thank you, Deepak. We're missing one of the panelists, Prakash, who unfortunately couldn't make it. And the second panelist that we are also missing today is from Max Estates. He also couldn't make it today due to a family celebration. But I'm confident that each of our panelists come in from varied, different perspectives. Each of our panelists bring on board different thought processes. All of them come from different industries, and all of them have done different things, including me. Technology in real estate, it's a very, 10 years ago, I don't know if you've been seeing the latest memes which are going on, 2016 and 2026, if you've been seeing that. In 2026, if we had this panel, trust me, it will be only developers who would be sitting here. There'd be no tech experts. There'd be nobody from the tech world who would be sitting on this panel. In fact, if I can be so audacious to say, there wouldn't be a panel on technology or prop tech, right? That's how the world has changed, and that's how the world in India has changed, right? Wherever I visit, and I meet quite a few developers, quite a few industry specialists every week, and the kind of, I would say, impression that I'm left with is that developers and the real estate industry is investing heavily on technology now. They finally realized that technology is here to stay, right? When I started my career in real estate, when we spoke about technology, it was the guy who was providing the laptop. That's all. Yeah, it was more infra. And now we're talking about data, we're talking about AI, we're talking about digital transformation. And what is digital transformation? Digital transformation is to change the way that we are seeing things today. Yeah, real estate has always, and for the longest time, real estate has been a laggard in technology, has been lacking in technology, has never respected the kind of technology that other industries have actually picked up pace with, right? Today we have on our panel two CIOs, one CMO who's dabbling in technology and has got technology at the core of her operations for a large commercial real estate player. And of course, we've got a prop tech specialist who's actually transforming the very industry with the tools that he has garnered from this industry, right? But it was never like this before. It was always a very nascent industry. Real estate technically has been a laggard for technology. It's, stayed behind. Other industries have picked up technology with the speed that's kind of never been seen. But let me tell you a fact. We build buildings faster than we adopt technology. And this is something that our panelists will agree on, right? And therefore, I'm very excited to know that we are in this perfect cusp. We are in this perfect time wherein it's actually a great time to look at technology in real estate. It's a great time to adopt it. It's a great time to bring in newer tools which will automate the various processes that have been rampant in real estate, and if I can in quotes say plaguing real estate, right? So therefore, without much further ado, I'd like to really speak about the questions that we can. Tea and coffee is also served, but I'd ask my panelists to just have fun on this panel. I'd like to have my panelists having a lot of fun, talk with anecdotes, talk with a lot of practical stories as to how they want, right? So, given this entire ecosystem that is plaguing the current real estate, scenario, I'd ask all my panelists, and I'll start with you, Farmanji, as to, with the changing demographics that are there, the changing customer segment, Gen Z, they have limited attention span, they are fickle, they want quick decisions, right? How are developers still operating with transactional tools, and how do you see these changing over time?
Yeah, thank you, Shajai. So you brought up a very nice point, like 2016 versus 2026. Back in 2026, what was the role of an IT? You said it correct. It was all about procurement of laptops or devices. However, in 2026, when I sit in any meetings, whether it can be a board meeting or it can be any stakeholder meeting, the first question they ask, AI mein kya kar rahe ho? You are discussing any subject, and ultimately the discussion goes, what are you doing in AI? So this is that level of transformation that has happened in the last 10 years, specifically if I discuss about technology. Now, looking at the real estate landscape, much has changed over the years. Now, what has changed? Actually, we are living in a VUCA world, where every day the situations are changing, and thanks to leaders like Trump, the market has become so dynamic, volatile, and the leadership is looking to take some dynamic decisions. But how to take those dynamic decisions? So they look up to IT guys, you have to provide me data, you have to provide me intelligence. So this is the scenario that has changed, and we, the tech people, look for new solutions to provide to our leadership so that they can get adapted and they can take the best decisions for the company using real-time data. So this is a very big change that has happened in the market. Now, coming to the terms like Gen Zs and how the local factors have changed, of course, because of these volatile situations and because of the advent of new technology and social media, the whole scenario has changed. Initially when we were kids, real estate was all about pen and paper. However, now we have apps for everything. Whether you want to apply for loan, you want to apply for EOI of a real estate, people expect that there will be some kind of mobile apps for different kind of use cases. So this is the scenario that has changed, and that's why, instead of moving from just doing the mundane task of transactions, of course, some of the real estate are still doing those transactionals. But this is also a fact. Either you get change with time, or you yourself will be changed. And history has proved it again and again. Just to give you an example, what happened with BlackBerry? BlackBerry was a very good company, robust hardware, robust security systems, but they were not able to cater to customer satisfaction. And in real estate, customer satisfaction is directly proportional to your top line and your bottom line. If you are able to satisfy your customers, then it means you are doing something good, you will thrive in the market. And that's why in order to attain, in order to have the good customer experience, it is very much necessary that you incorporate digital revolution in your company. That is why, people who will change, the companies who will change, they will thrive. Otherwise, rest of the companies who are just relying on transactions, they will have to look for other options.
Great that you mentioned about BlackBerry, by the way. They have become the largest car software, automotive software player globally at this point in time. So they had digitally transformed themselves, by the way, right? So that's also a case study in the making, right? But Arvindji, what about your...
I have been across industries, so I've seen, how technology gets accepted, appreciated, in various industries. So, when I was in travel, technology at a different level, in retail, it was at a different level. But when you come to real estate, things are different. So I learned few basics in real estate, like, everything which is wired is a technology issue. And if a printer doesn't work because paper is not there, it's a technology issue. So those things are there, but it is 5 years back when I came in the industry, people were asking me what you will do in real estate as a CTO. I was leaving Reliance Retail, which is, a big organization. But I would say that it's a gray field. There's a lot of scope of change. There are a lot of opportunities. If you see today, there are a lot of startups, a lot of real estate companies who are building applications, platforms to enable the business. So there is a lot of opportunity. What I would talk about is there are certain challenges. I would say it's all the mental barricades are there. People who have been in industry for long, they don't want to change. So it's not a technology problem, it's a people issues. So it's a cultural issue when you don't want to change. And the other thing I would talk about is generally it's any transformation. You talked about digital transformation. Digital transformation is actually not IT transformation. It's a business transformation. When any transformations are taken as IT projects, they will fail. They are not IT projects, they are business projects. We are here to enable business. The mindset has to change, the way IT approaches business and the way business accepts IT.
Fantastic.
So that's very critical aspect which I learned in last 5 years or so. Data, people talk about AI, but AI, for AI, data is the foundation. People will talk about, I'm 20 years old organization, but when you start looking into data would be broken. People say data is the new oil, but their oil doesn't fire because data is broken, data is not in sufficiency, the accuracy is a problem. So lot of efforts I had to put in to ensure that data gets captured at various touch points. See, in real estate, a customer journey is you have various touch points across the purchase journey. You talk to a pre-sales team, you have some discussion. That information has to flow to sales team. Sales team should not start from beginning that yes sir, what do you want? So that gives a bad customer experience. So the transformation of information is one aspect that is very critical, that should go from one touch point to other touch point across the sales journey. The second thing is the capture of data should be across journey. You can't have all my information in just pre-sales interaction. So to build or enrich the data, there should be different approach or ways to capture data. So long forms were the old days. You can't give a long form to someone to fill it and capture the data. So it should be very intuitive. It should be based on interaction, based on various touch points. You can capture certain aspects. That's one part. Another critical aspect is security. In real estate, nobody bothered about security earlier. If you say, sir, SSO lagana padega MFA, what? You can't ask MD to do a MFA. That was a mindset. But now things are changed because data is critical, the information is critical, with lot of governance acts coming in like DPDP. You have to ensure a lot of things are placed right, are secure, and the access is not to everyone. It starts from data definition itself. It's a journey in itself.
Super. Sharon, you bring the customer angle to it, right? So what in your mind?
So, Shajai, first of all, I think we are sounding in real estate as if we are referring to real estate as Stone Age. It is not, actually.
Fantastic. I'd like to have a contrarian view.
I have a very contrary view. And I would like to present my view with some disclaimers.
Sure.
See, if you have, first of all, let us stop defining what technology in real estate means. I think we all know what technology in real estate means and what it can do. If you go back, and we are sitting in NCR, if I actually take you back as 2005, 2006 in Gurgaon, primarily the houses were sold on paper. They were not even brochures were made, right? It was some amount of, and there were very handful of developers who were doing some good quality business. And the customers just principally used to go. They used to have a floor plan. They used to agree on a floor plan. They used to do the transaction. And that's about it, and you were home. Essentially, my real estate career started in 2013, which is not so far ago. But, and I'm talking about 2013, I'm very proud to have worked with organizations where they made walkthroughs and digital tours and immersive experience centers, even back then. So we are talking about 13 years ago, and I'm talking about the world-class experience centers, technology used for giving a very immersive experience to the customer. I think as a nutshell synopsis, if I have to give in 3-4 lines, the first thing is technology was always there. Let me give you an anecdote. If I were to really tell you what changed, Corona and COVID played a surrogate mother to technology.
Fantastic.
It actually democratized technology for literally everybody. So the very well-established developers, they were using technology since about 16, 17, 18 years perhaps. Now with Corona and COVID hitting in, and we didn't know what to do next, and whether we will ever be out of this new normal.
Correct.
Everybody was using virtual tours, digital walkthroughs and whatnot, and forms and digital forms and data collection. It became a very democratic function, which is why we suddenly feel real estate has got technology. And we suddenly feel, oh God, why have we been so averse? No, that's not right, number one. Number two, any industry has its motion, Real estate as an industry has gained industry as the place very, very recently. It was a very disorganized sector, principally by and large operated by 1 or 2, max 4 people in one of the geographies, right? So I think we are at a good place. It's not a Stone Age industry. And so far as we were just talking about people, when Corona happened, most of the organizations who would have clocked in the top line, please ask them how have they clocked in. There was overnight grants given to really implement a lot of technology onto the sales functions because sales was needed, So I think fundamentally we are there. It's just that how do we take the next step forward, and as the people who are the agents to drive this change, I think the impetus is on us to not only speak very proudly about the industry across the segments and not really look like one of those subdued bacha in the classroom. Take real estate as a very proud industry and sector, make it a sector, and take that baton forward to make the next wave of change.
Fantastic. That's very well put, Sharon. And I like the way that you're saying that some things which are made of stone are not in the Stone Age.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very well put. Deepak, your views, after which we will deep dive into some of the other questions.
I will 100% second with, what Arvind has said and then what Sharon has said, because they both are right. I'll disappoint you with one very small figure. Even now, developer spends close to just 1% on the technology. This is a proven figure, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything said and done, developer spends close to 1% of the project value on the tech. Okay, so this is disappointing. At the same time, it is very encouraging because the future is there. Okay, and what you said rightly, Sharon, is COVID really showed us the path of how to get on a Zoom call and pitch a client and stuff, right? But again, let me give you one more figure, that we are in 2016, but we are still selling properties like we are in 2006. That's also a fact. Okay, I give you a very practical example here. I will not sugarcoat anything. When you sit with a developer or you sit with their sales team, they will say, "अरे sir, हमने ये सब use नहीं करना, हमें तो check उठाना है फटाफट से." हमें ये we don't want to get into technology, and we पता नहीं customer को हम कहीं ज़्यादा ना transparency ना दे दे ज़्यादा. We don't want to show things. But the important thing we have to understand, there are many companies like Godrej, for example, M3M, for example, they are using technologies and companies where Sharon has worked earlier, they have used technology and they have made lives better for their own people, at the same time for the consumers. They have been able to take better decisions. Cancellation rate is very, very low. Okay? There are hardly check bounces cases in that case. So we have to understand that there is a lot of scope as far as technology is concerned. Technology does nothing, it adds value to the overall sector, जिसको हम 5 trillion बनाने का सोच रहे हैं, right? Overall economy को, and sector, real estate sector looks to touch $1 trillion sector by 2030. We cannot do it if we will not adapt technology. We cannot run throughout the day on the roads and we look to sell properties worth that much, or we get A-grade office buildings leased out just like that. It's not possible. If we will not adapt tech, we will probably leave far behind. This is how we take it as.
Add, to his point. See, having technology doesn't mean you have a basic ERP in house. ERP was always there. CRM was always there, because without that you cannot run the business. But what level of maturity, what kind of governance were there, what kind of controls you bring in, what kind of transparency was there. You go back 20 years back, there was no transparency in real estate. You purchase a house and you are waiting. What is the progress, you don't know. You get demand and you have to go to the site, see whether that has reached to 9th floor or 6th floor or not. That was the reality. There could be exceptions, as he said, 3-4 companies or 5 companies. But majority was not there. As he rightly said, COVID, was the real transformation, the culprit who transformed, the world around. Technology was always there, but people were not transforming. Overnight, people went to cloud. Why? Cloud was there. It was all, the compulsion of the hour which moved the business. That's another aspect. See, traditionally, the industry is optimistic. There are a lot of changes happening. Nobody is talking negative about industry. But where it was 20 years back, where it is today, there's exponential change which has happened.
That I agree, but I like the energy on the platform. And in my next question, I'd like to ask Sharon, if I can ask you, what does digital transformation look like when you envision it? And give some examples, give some anecdotes, both from a perspective of data, technology, AI in this entire sector. How does it transform? How does it transcend to you?
So, I've spent, say about, 6, 7, 8 years in residential, and now I'm in the commercial real estate space. Regardless, I think technology is existential for marketing as a department. And for the residential, the digital transformation hovered at 2 levels. One, to make the transactions go faster, lead generation, and making sure that the remarketing was done and the transactions were smoother, and in fact going to an extent of even taking some kind of a sales targets towards marketing function. I think all of that needed a bit of a technology intervention at every step, right from data collection to even the conversion, and then putting back that into the system for the CRM to operate. All of that was a cycle which was a very typical residential real estate cycle, and I kind of had that at multiple levels in multiple organizations I've worked. More often than not, I am the CRM implementer, as I was called in a couple of organizations, because what I did was to really get the very fragmented, registered, to really have that data put back into the system as properly fed data in the CRM software, and then use that for remarketing and marketing automation and so on and so forth. For commercial real estate, however, when you talk about lead or when you talk about closures, that essentially is your first step, because typically from there the whole asset operations begin, and that's where the whole journey and the cycle begins. And then you're looking at net operating incomes to increase over a period of time. You look through that as a tenant retention, you look through that as word of mouth, and you look through that on various aspects as to how you can build in the top lines for the commercial real estate sector. So that's essentially the digital transformation for me as of today, that not only the closures and the aids which it can provide to close the deal, but also how do I take the asset value? How do I make sure that the tenants are retained and we keep gaining the value to increase the net operating income for the company?
Fantastic. So it's also about the value of the asset and how do you increase the overall net worth of the asset, which is a very interesting point. And I think within commercial real estate, that is where most even REITs are now talking about, right? Hopefully we should see a REIT from your stable soon also at some point, yeah, which is great. But for Manji, you've been pretty silent so far. I'm going to ask you now, how does digital transformation play a big role within your sphere and ambit of things?
Yeah, this is a very nice question. So as Arvind said, like data is the new oil, you know. But I would say once you refine that oil and you get the insights from it, that is the digital transformations, you know, the exact fruit that I get out of that data. Now, what happens in a typical any organization, you know, all the functions operates in silos. They have marked their territories and their processes, and most of the times these processes are not talking to each other. So what we have done in our organizations is like we have integrated all these data streams, you know, the data from CRM, that is Salesforce, data from my project management tools like Primavera, etc., my master data management and the ERP. So what we have done, we have integrated all this data into a centralized unit. And how it helps me give a very clear picture to my leadership what's happening in the organization. You know, what used to happen historically, like every organization used to talk in different languages of their own, different KPIs. Now what we have been able to achieve is we have uniformized these all KPIs into a centralized unit, and now the leadership is able to get a very clear picture, a single source of truth. In this context, you are aware we are working with you also, where we have created a mobile app for our customers, where our customers are getting a 360-degree view of the entire real estate cycle. It helps them, you know, get a clear picture of what exactly, suppose they have bought a flat for us, what's exactly happening, you know, which level of construction a project is, you know, how much money they have to pay, CAM charges, everything has been digitized using this mobile application. So these are some examples of digital transformations that is happening in the real estate industry.
Fantastic. And just for disclosure, you know, with what Farmanji had mentioned, Anacity is making the entire unified pre-sales, post-sales and post-possession platform for Emaar India. But that's just for the kind of digital transformation that we are doing for them. But I'd like to talk to Deepak. Deepak, you are, I wouldn't say you're doing digital transformation. I'm saying you are helping these clients and helping developers now view digital transformation as a key element within their overall strategy, right? What is it that you're envisaging it, and how can it help?
So I tell you what, Shajay, coming from real estate background, having more than a decade of experience into real estate, and then my team also has got experience into, real estate technology majorly. We thought of, once we were sitting and we were just discussing, yaar, aisa kya kar sakte hain with which we can add value, There was always a dream of getting into entrepreneurship, and, so there are two things. Either you can just sell properties, broking kar liya, using the technology. And second thing is, how can we add value? So we chose the other path, okay? What we do at Tropical Technologies is, so we all are aware कि जब भी हम एक real estate sales करने बैठते हैं, तो एक हम document देते हैं which has a floor plan, एक है तो location map, one is a brochure, one is a site plan. So ऐसे this is a fragmented data, scattered data, with which we sit down with a client, or when we send anything to the client, we send multiple files on the WhatsApp. एक walk through जाता है, which is a very heavy file, फिर एक location video जाता है, फिर एक location map जाता है, and so on and so forth. At Tropical, what we do is we are a mapping technology company. हमें एक चीज समझ आई कि map is there in our DNA. Since thousands and ages, thousands of years, maps are always there. We sit in our car today, we know where we have to go, we know the way to our house, but still we follow GPS. Is it correct? Yeah. Right. So maps are always there. So we thought, can we build a whole ecosystem map? That is what we do. So we've chosen to build a whole ecosystem of real estate project on the map in 3D. Now first map and second is 3D. 3D is always easy to relate, easy to understand, easy to relate, easy to recall. Right? So we have made the whole ecosystem around it. अब उससे क्या हो रहा है? Our solution is very, very foolproof now. There are two reasons for it. A, we use satellite imagery which cannot be tampered. No one can tamper a satellite imagery, okay? B, we use drawings which are approved by RERA or under approval by RERA, okay? AutoCAD files. So this makes it foolproof. Then we also add one more value where when we show, so anyone who is looking to buy a property, suppose a residential property, उनके लिए कुछ important key points होते हैं. How far is the school, nearby कौन-कौन से school हैं, college हैं, malls, markets, hospitals, you know, or other catchments, and how closely they are connected with nearby highways or other cities. Someone who does not belong to the location, उनको बहुत बार site visit करना पड़ता है इतनी सी चीजें समझने के लिए. वो odometer on करते हैं और odometer on करने के बाद ये घूमते रहते हैं आसपास project के, right? Now we have made their life very easy because we create 3D of the landmarks also on the same solution.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay? And we just do not stop there. Then we have launched a thing called QT, Tropical QT, which is called Tropical Quick Tour. Then we take them inside the property and we give them a complete experience of the property on the same link. Now it is an unbroken experience. On single link, you are understanding the location, nearby all the landmarks, connectivity with other cities, towns, states. Then you are also getting inside the property. You are taking a virtual experience of the property. Okay? All the amenities, club. Then you go on each and every floor and see how the view will come. अब suppose if it's a 50 floor building and you are interested in 40th floor, so you can see कि 40th floor से मेरा view कैसा आ रहा है. Okay? Then you have directions, you know, with which you can assess के sunlight कब आएगी. These are all important points, and we just do not stop there. ये सब हो जाता है तो buyer के mind में आता है और बहुत सारे हमने experiences खराब लिए हैं in the past. So whether this developer is reliable or not, then we create a brand story of the developer on the same solution.
Fantastic. So, I mean, it's great the kind of work that you're doing, Deepak. I mean, to look at it from the fact that you started in sales, yeah? And from sales you identified the opportunity and then entrepreneurship, and now you're making technology for the same sector that you sold, which is great.
Yes,
super.
Yes.
But my last panelist, Arvindji, if you're talking about digital transformation, and you've done digital transformation at now 2 developers, this is your second developer that you're doing. You worked with Purvankara earlier in Bangalore. Now, what is it that you were envisaged before we then jump into the AI question, which I think is going to be really, really exciting for everyone, at least for me?
I think for me, digital transformation is, enabling employees, the employee experience, first thing. Second thing is, customer experience. What digital interventions you are doing to, improvise customer experience, bring customer loyalty. That is second thing. Third thing is, operational efficiency across the whole process of construction. So, earlier days, inspecting a land, people used to go there and inspect the land. With drone tech, you can grab a lot of images and other things, and do those surveys. So it is helping in doing the survey of land, taking the measurements, different aspects of the land which you are evaluating. It is helping design. It is actually feeding design team with those parameters which is critical for design.
I'll add something here with your permission, Arvindji. What the solution that we are creating, suppose, one of the developer we are working with is Reliance. Okay, Reliance has got a project here in Jajjar, Medcity, which is spread across 8,250 acres. 8,250 acre ka span is very difficult for them to explain to anybody on paper, and they never even thought about कि ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है, and we created a solution for them. Now today what is happening is they are planning further expansion, क्योंकि उनका phase 1 is around 2,200 acres, 2200 acre का है. Now they are doing the further planning on the solution itself.
Yeah.
And we are closely working with them day in, day out. Then we are working with other developers. Suppose one developer has launched phase 1. Phase 2, where they are getting the land and everything. So we are doing all the survey and we are making the complete experience today itself on the same solution.
Yes.
So this is how we are doing it.
So I think OEMs were already always there. Microsoft,
Yes.
Google, everybody was there. Platforms were there. SAP, Salesforce. But PropTech, I would say, PropTech has brought a difference, because these OEMs leave loopholes. What we want as a business for a complete solution. You have to bring implementation partner to do a lot of customizations, changes, and these PropTech companies are building natively on top of these platforms. That is helping us to bridge the gap, expedite the operations. That's critical. I think they are partners in crime with us. That is one part. Another part is even in fact PropTech has evolved, construction tech has evolved. Today nobody talks about construction. Construction tech has evolved. We technologists are not involved there. IT people have to do nothing with that. But what kind of brick is getting used, what kind of furniture, wood is getting used, all those are reusable, material. So ESG is one aspect which our industry is very critical about. So everybody is trying to go to zero carbon. They have, if you are a listed company, you have to publish those figures. So we are serious about bringing transformation across. It's not just IT.
Fantastic. So now I'm going to go to the AI question, and it's a very loaded question. There is a common misnomer that implementation of AI will replace people, right? And we hear this everywhere, that AI will replace people. Inside your organizations, how are you envisioning AI? Like a co-pilot or a tool or an automation engine or a productivity enhancer? Sharon, you want to go first?
So first of all, we will not use sensitive lines like data is oil, because I don't know where Trump has placed the speakers in this room, and I don't want any risk to my life. I want to go home safe. So, please take back your words. There is no oil here.
Anyways, Delhi NCR does not have oil.
He just said.
We've got petrol fumes.
Yeah. So a very interesting question, Shajai. First of all, in a most simplistic manner, I don't think so AI is here to replace people. AI is here to replace people who cannot use AI, And these are two different things. And for us in commercial real estate, the definition of AI takes at multiple levels, various shapes and sizes, right from customer experience to even marketing opportunities and making sure that there is effective marketing, especially for my function. Up until now, I think marketing has been seen, and I guess I am no different, that marketing is a brand and comm function of an organization. I think from there, with the advent of AI and in the past few months, the kind of immersiveness we are doing to really understand the importance of it, I would like to rephrase the role and the function as the customer intelligence and experience engine than the brand comm expert. And by that, I mean to say that right from when we show our product to a customer, I think what AI is today capable of doing is do the micro segments of data and show the relevant information to the segment where it matters the most. Simplistically speaking, a CFO of an organization, for my customer, is more keen to understand how can my transaction bring cost effectiveness to the organization he belongs in a very B2B space and format. And I think that is something which I can do. I can also do a COO and a CHRO specific communication, micro-segmented data, because we are talking about how in the commercial real estate space, one can do fantastic work to make sure that the employee retention is higher, and the placemaking of the office is at the right spot. And from a COO, I mean, we just spoke about operational efficiency. I think that's something which every organization is looking for when it looks at commercial real estate transaction. So from micro segmentation to even actually going to a place where the reportage of various data from an asset, whether it is heat, efficiency or usage of energy, to which actually brings the ESG fold onto the segment, to even multiple practices, sustainability, all of that is enablement by AI, at least in our function and in our industry. And we see an optimal use of it as we go along. But most importantly, I think the endeavor we have in our ecosystem is to really have a unified app. Because what we have and what we intend to do is create a marketing focused stack, technology stack, which can enable multiple functions through a unified app and actually become one voice and data point. So that's the intention.
Fantastic. I'm going to reach out to you after this for that app. Yeah, which is very good. But yeah, Farmanji, how many people are you letting go in EMAR because of AI?
Well, I fully agree with Sharon. AI will not take away the jobs, but obviously people who know AI will take the jobs of those who don't know AI. This is a bitter truth. So in our organizations also, what we are focusing on specific use cases. So I will give you some examples, some practical examples. So in pre-sales, we have some call centers people who are taking inbound and outbound calls for customer queries. So typically they operate like 9 to 5 kind of job, and weekends are off for them. So we were losing very critical leads, because obviously like most of the house hunting occurs during weekends, when you go to your home and wife says, what have you done today to search for any home. Then the poor guy, starts calling all these call centers of real estate. So we used to lose all those critical leads. So what we have done, we have implemented voice-based AI agents, who are directly working, they are listening to customers, they are talking to customers, and we are capturing all those critical data. So not a single lead is now being wasted. Plus, there is no compliance issue. From compliance, we are all green. And, we are getting lot of productivity gains. Now, this is a typical good use case that we have implemented. However, just to caution, see, AI is like a nuclear energy. You can use it for constructive purpose also, and it can be used for destructive purpose also. So we will have to be very careful. For example, the digital arrest scams that are happening, again, that is a classic byproduct of AI, where the AI has been used for destructive purpose. So we are targeting specific use cases where we can either automate, or we can increase the operational efficiency, or we can increase the productivity of our employees. That's what we are doing.
Super. Yeah. Arvindji.
I think I will extend few pointers they have covered. See, analyzing the customer interaction gives you, how efficiently your representative is handling a customer interaction. So it gives you insight of, chances of conversion, indexing the customer, where he falls, where silver, gold, diamond, and then also helps at the organization level, what kind of training my representative requires. The guy who is performing well, converting well, on what he is doing better than others. So that's one learning and training part where AI can help a lot. The other area where AI can help is contract evaluation. 1,000 page, 2,000 page contracts going through, even a small number has changed. That makes a difference. So that anomaly can be highlighted, through AI. Even creating a contract, AI can help. So a lot of this operational efficiency AI can bring. You asked whether people will lose jobs. People see, it's not losing jobs. As my friend said, who will learn AI will remain there. But I would say, with the kind of growth we are looking for the business, the requirement of a human would reduce with AI, because there would be higher efficiency. 10 people can do 20 people job or 50 people job. That's the truth.
So you're saying, what I'm getting from, and before I come to Deepak to talk about AI, I'm hearing that it's going to be more a co-pilot, it's going to be a productivity enhancer, it's going to be an automation engine, and a silent listener. That's what AI...
I think most of clerical jobs would go. OEMs should also worry who are doing data analytics today. With AI, it would be easier.
I can see one role of AI, and Deepak, you should correct me on this because, or you should add to it. I can see one role that is going to go away immediately. I mean, give it a couple of years. This entire sales function has, and this is my personal, this entire sourcing agent. In the sourcing agent, whose job is to do these 100 cold calls a day, right? And these are sourcing agents. So these sourcing agents, their jobs are gone. I mean, that's so sorry, I'm being so blunt about it, but I think that function will no longer exist.
In fact, content creation also, you won't require those number of people to
I genuinely feel that instead of a sourcing agent, we will have specialists who will be, taking on site visits and closing the deals rather than spending their time on unproductive tasks like calling 100 people, right? I get multiple calls from insurance agencies, from real estate experts, from brokers, all of which can move on to this sort of agentic system, which is a dial-out sourcer, right? And I think that job is gone. I don't see that job anyways remaining behind, right? Deepak, what do you feel?
So I think I'll start it like this. I'll rather take you to era of 80s, जब computer आए थे, right? It was a similar kind of scare then, कि jobs चली जाएंगी और गई भी थी.
रिटेल में वैसा था ना, रिटेल में बिग बाजार आया तो छोटी दुकानें बंद हो जाएंगी, नहीं हुए ना?
नहीं, so I tell you Arvind ji, I'm coming on to something else. Since we are talking technology here. So let's go back to 80s when Rajiv Gandhi ji introduced computers to India, right? So उस समय हुआ था, अरे यार अब तो सब factories बंद हो जाएंगी, or the lot of job cuts will be there. But see, we have to accept one thing, that humans are all about evolution. We have been evolving. Every decade something new comes. After every decade something new comes. And yes, rightly said Shajay, ह्यूमन डिपेंडेंसी कम हो जाएगी, मैं इसको ऐसे कहूंगा, rather than कि नौकरियां चली जाएंगी.
That's what I was saying. To support that growth,
yes,
you will require lesser
yes people. So human, अब उससे दो चीजें होंगी सर, स्पेशली रियल एस्टेट की हम बात करते हैं. Let's stick to our sector. It will add value in the sense lot of wrong selling will go down. Because you will have machines, you will have trained machines who are talking to people and giving the right information. Okay, so वहाँ पे human dependency थोड़ा सा नीचे आ जाएगा, and use of machines or AI trained engines will increase. Like we ourselves are developing something very interesting in this space, wherein you can just talk to the agent 24/7. Now you cannot assign a person 24/7 for your project, but you can assign a machine 24/7 to your project. A person who gets late in the office, who comes home at 10 o'clock, have his dinner, spend time with his family, और रात को 12 बजे free होता है कई बार, and then he wants to understand property. Now he cannot call an agent, but he can always ask an AI assistant. And if it is trained well, if it is smart enough, if it is made rightly, he can answer everything in a better manner rather than a human, actually speaking.
One another aspect,
without sugarcoating the words.
Yeah, I would add to it. One aspect, I think, handling the customer would become, more efficient.
Yes.
I get irritated if I get calls, cold calls.
It will be to the point, sir.
Yeah. So AI would help my pre-sales team to understand me better, what channel works for me.
Yes. अब उससे एक चीज और होगी शजय, which you would probably agree, that the tat of closure will come down, because I don't have to wait for Saturday and Sunday to come to talk to the agent. I can just understand everything, and the kind of solution that we have made, उसमें तो you have a crystal clear understanding about anything and everything related to the project, location, builder, everything is answered. So the tat of closure has come down. efficiency of real estate developer has increased, efficiency of sales team has increased. This is what it is. So I think we would rather take it as a good point, is what I'll say, and we have to evolve.
No, absolutely. And as humans, our prime responsibility is to evolve. Otherwise, we'll remain in the four-legged creatures. And that brings me on to some specific questions that I have with you all. We'll have just one question for each of you all so that we can then wrap up the panel. I'll start with Farman. Farmanji, as Chief Digital Officer at Emaar, you straddle and you have a unique vantage point between both Middle East as well as India on the technology side, right? Where do you see the greatest opportunity? Where do you see the greatest adoption that is happening on the tech side in a comparison between Middle East and India? And remember, India was the first to adopt the RERA system that was there in the Middle East, right? And that's how India brought in RERA over here. Anacity, the company that I run, we work both in the Middle East and in India. We see a lot more work happening over there. And then, given the fact that you work for Emaar, which is the largest developer in the Middle East, what is it that you see?
Yeah, it's a very nice question, Sajai. And like we were talking behind the door before this session, Dubai is on fire. The real estate is on fire. And you call it digital adoption, or you call it the process-wise. Just like the soaring heights of Burj Khalifa, Emaar has a great presence in Dubai. So when I talk about the digital adoption, some of the contrasting difference that I can foresee is like Dubai is a top-down approach, whether you talk about the digital framework or you talk about the processes, smart cities, everything comes out from the top, from the government. And they have full support of the government, and then slowly is cascade to the lower level. However, in India, it's mostly the bottoms-up approach. We are starting from scratch at the root level. We are going for the digital adoption, process-wise, and you mentioned about RERA also. So the contrasting difference is Dubai is top-down and we are like bottoms-up. However, we are looking to Dubai for the disciplined approach and the seamless execution of the projects that they have done. And this is a really motivation factor for us, being a part of the same company. So we looked upon Dubai for the seamless execution of these processes and the digital transformation.
Fantastic. And we hope to see a little bit more of those tools being brought into India and then setting a path forward.
Of course. One of the critical milestone is the mobile app that we are in the last phase in collaboration with you. So they had this MR1 app long ago, decades ago, and this was something which we were looking up to, and this was the first project when I joined MR as CIO. I started in collaboration with Anurag. So this is something slowly we'll be at par with them in terms of mobility. The next big transformation that we are targeting is on the construction phase. A lot of things needs to be done at the construction, where a lot of digital opportunities are currently there.
Super. Sharon, what digital tools or mobile engagements are you going to be implementing to give us sort of a humane, community-like experience across, and every single commercial real estate partner that I speak to, REIT that I speak to, and we work with the largest REITs in the country, and we're seeing the buzzword has changed to say community-like experience, human factor, and how do you envisage this, and what tools and techniques would you be implementing?
So the top priority right now is the unified app, as I told you. The reason being, it acts at multiple fronts for us. One, it can act as a digital concierge for us. Two, it can create feedback loops for our customers to give back real-time feedbacks. Three, it can actually build community, and up until now we have been only seeing community building talked on a very high level at the residential side. But now, you see there is a community building happening at the commercial real estate level as well, where people are talking about tenant experiences and tenant engagements, and I think that's on the top of the radar for the next 12 to 24 months. At some point, we would like to really integrate a lot of stacks of technology in that app from the operations side as well, to bring the customer experiences at the ease and make sure that the customer experience is seamless, At the same time, it's, there is one spot for the customers to really lend their voice to, whether it is feedback, complaint, or appreciation.
Super. Arvindji, you've been a strong endorser of unified digital journeys, and creating private label apps. And what has triggered this mindset for you, and what's your advice to developers in this juncture?
I think, Farman talked about, we have data in silos, understanding, getting 360-degree view of a customer is a problem. Still, we want to serve customer in the best way, a personalized experience. You can't bring until you have a unified, app, which captures every aspect of customer. Second thing, which improves the customer experience, keeps customer engaged. There is upsell, cross-sell opportunity. There is referral opportunities for the customer. Whenever the customer is aware of the offers available, he can get in straight away in referrals and maybe upsell. So that is one aspect. From technology selection, I always believe that real estate is not a technology company. So I always advocated to partner with companies who have built apps, who are evolving the concept, who are native, who have implemented it natively. And because if we build app in-house, maintaining that app becomes problem, extending that app becomes problem, evolving that app with time becomes challenge. And looking into those aspects, I think you are aware, we went with City for post-possession journey in Puravankara. So that way, that I advocate. It's a partnership, as I always say, with the prop tech companies like yours, and between us.
Fantastic. Now, my last question to Deepak before we on to a rapid fire round. I've got a rapid fire round after this, by the way. Yeah. Looking ahead, do you see 3D mapping becoming sort of a standard interface? When I say standard interface for developers, where people will interact with places, with other people, with properties and communities. Yeah. Do you see yourself playing a role? And within this, the sub-question, what role will AI play in this?
So right now, we use 2D maps. Now 2D maps are very much there. Without that, the brochure is incomplete, right? So going forward, the kind of solution that we are making, or let's talk about even government. We are working with a lot of government enterprises as well. Town planning authorities we are working with, and many more. So they are very, very active and aggressive, I would say, in adopting the technology. Okay, if they can, then why not the companies, why not the real estate developers? Because it's eventually benefiting them. And having a 3D visualization on the map is any day, is a problem solver for a lot of questions which clients carry, which delays decision. So yes, answer is very much yes, and it is already happening, Shajay. As a matter of fact, very small portion of the market we are also spoiling, and we are also telling them that this is the right approach. So we will come up with
so going forward, you think it will become a standard interface?
I give you a small example here. Now we are very well versed with housing.com, Magic Bricks, 99 acres. Now if you ever go through their page, okay, the map come in the last. Okay, the map part comes in the last. We say map has to be first, and that too in 3D. This is what we are creating. So basically we are changing this behavior and mindset, and people are very happy with it. This is what it is. And as far as AI, which you just added, AI will help. AI will help all those people because they understand, because the map is built on data. Okay, data comes from the behavior. the time they spend on any property, on anything. Up today, for example, what we do is we study how much time a consumer is spending on the landmarks, on which landmark. So somebody is spending more time on malls, somebody is spending more time on analyzing how far are the schools, somebody is spending more time on hospitals. Interesting. And this is what it is. This is how we are building our AI.
Super. Great. I now come to the last session, which is a sort of a rapid fire. And these are questions which are going to be introduced to each of the panelists. You will have to give me a very short answer. Maybe a word, couple of phrases or something like that, which is similar. But I'll serve one statement to you. You just give me the first reaction that comes. It should be the first reaction, okay? Let's play this. Deepak, you want to start from your side? And you cannot give me propical, okay? Right. So, Deepak, one technology suite real estate cannot afford to ignore now.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality. Great. Super. Sharon, biggest myth about digital transformation in real estate?
That it cannot be done.
Oh, so it can be done?
Of course.
Okay, great. Okay, and I think I know the answer to what the next question which I'm going to ask Arvind. Arvind, one mistake developers make when implementing technology?
Selecting partners.
Selecting partners. Oh, okay.
We are very cautious about it.
Okay. Right. Farmanji, one decision your organization now makes with data that was earlier driven by instinct.
Pricing.
Oh, so you're saying pricing is now being made with data and pricing was made earlier with instinct. Fantastic. Right. Okay, I have a general question. Anyone can put up their hands for this. Let's play fastest finger first, yeah? Okay. One leadership mindset that must change for digital transformation to succeed.
You are transforming business.
Think 2035.
What about you, Deepak?
I missed.
One leadership mindset that must change for digital transformation.
You are
Think
not.
1981 then.
I was saying you should not treat yourself as a CIO. You should be a business, person. Then only.
Fantastic.
So I think we have to break the shell. We have to come out of the cocoon. We have to come out of the typical mindset. We have to think like China. We have to think like Dubai in order to grow. As simple as that. So they are like, so they do not, so I tell you, in one of my session I said this thing. I know so many developers, they travel to London, they travel to Dubai, they travel to various places. You know for what, Shajay?
Yeah.
Just to give the name to their project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct? But I fail to understand why can't they adopt technology? Why can't they adopt good practices which are happening there? This is the mindset which needs to be changed in order to grow, sir.
Fantastic. My last rapid fire, and any one of you can take it, yeah? What's evolving fast in real estate right now? What's evolving fast in real estate right now? Customer expectations, technology, or internal culture?
I think internal culture.
For one?
I think it's customer expectation.
In commercial real estate, customer expectations.
Arvind?
It's becoming boundaryless.
Sorry?
Boundaryless.
Boundaryless. Fantastic.
I would say technology is the answer to the customer expectations in the commercial real estate. I think technology is the answer.
Fantastic. I think I've had a ball of a time, being on this session and moderating this panel. Great insights for those who've heard. I think, thank you once again for all of y'all. Any questions, do let me know. If anyone wants to ask the panelists any questions, we are more than happy to. Yeah.
Thank you for the enlightening session. Wonderful students, learned a lot. I just want to understand, you've been talking about customer experience mostly from a sales perspective. But what do you think the role of AI will be in a post-sales scenario from a customer experience perspective?
No, so for commercial real estate, it is post-sales perspective only, because in our commercial real estate sector, when the lease document is done and the customer moves in, I think we are talking literally 10 years from there. It's about multiple interventions at which the technology will intersect with the customer to give that experience one and resulting into word of mouth and customer satisfaction at the end. So, in a building, for example, we have been attuned to having cards like these to punch in at the turnstiles, go inside, and maybe book an amenity. And, if there is, let's say, washroom odor, pick up on the housekeeping person standing next door and say that, okay, there is smell here. All of that can be abolished completely. I mean, you've got a place where you can actually not only, you can pass through turnstiles through the app, you can actually go into the housekeeping and raise a complaint in the real time that will be served. Or you can even have multiple things at the asset level to even know what's happening in the ecosystem, if you're talking about a bigger commercial real estate ecosystem, that is. So I think the whole manual intervention of you speak to me and I speak to you only then, and when you act is when my problem will be resolved, is completely abolished by this real-time technology which can make sure that your satisfaction is guaranteed. And that's what makes the experience for you to talk to your fellow peers to say, hey, my office is super cool. And, why don't you try, let's say, and that's what gives us word of mouth.
I would like to add one use case here, the construction updates. Suppose you have bought a flat, now you have invested heavily. Now you're not getting a clear picture what's exactly happening at the site. So nowadays AI can enable the real-time construction updates using the footage, using the drones, surveys and all. And you will get a real-time status of your property. That can be a good use case.
I think it would be not just, post sales, it would be post possession also. When we are talking about unified app, that would be end to end. There is my gate, can I have my gate thing in app itself so that my customer doesn't go out? That's one part. I talked about posts like upsell, cross-sell, referrals. That can only happen if you are engaging customer even, post possession.
So one more thing is, as they rightly said, and there are so many things, that we are doing. Time lapse, for example, of the construction. So one can, we integrate AI also into it, and, then we do a real-time shoot also, and AI can predict and, can tell you, okay, on this pace, in these many months, you can have your flat ready. This is all is happening. And then safety issues, which are very, very important. Fire things, or other things, theft, lot many things. So lot many things are already happening and we just need to grow. But developers need to spend money, as simple as that. As I say, कि सिर्फ 1% से भी कम खर्च करते हैं भाई, ज़्यादा करेंगे तो obviously they'll have better features.
1% भी बहुत होता है यार.
No, I'm just saying. So in totality, for the whole life cycle, sir.
Just one follow-up.
Yeah.
Do you see a change in how people interact with technology? Do you see more of it becoming natural language because that's what AI is kind of circulating today?
It is happening.
You can see with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
You can make it out. They don't attend actually any what you say call or Teams call. They will use AI everywhere.
Yes. So at organization level also, I believe it is happening, and companies are adopting it. They are getting into this culture. So yes, it is an ongoing process and nothing happens overnight.
Just to add, I think it would help business also. Like, you in construction, there are delays. Delays could be like, Gurgaon, you have 1 week, you can't construct.
Yes.
Pollution, grab 4, grab 3, all those things, construction stops. So can AI will help you to predict, what kind of delays can come because of these things which are not in your control. AI can also help you to, foresee the cost increase, like how the steel cost will increase, cement cost will go high. Those trends you can, so there's a lot of use cases.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Super. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, Shajay.
Thank you, Shajay. Thank you to all the audience who, sat through the entire thing and heard a very, very insightful session. We had a great session, although I would have, possibly added a couple of more things in this, that हमने sales की बात करी, post sales की बात करी, pre sales की बात करी, construction, the best and the, उसकी बात हमने शायद नहीं करी. अगर हम digital twins use करते हैं, हम एक्चुअली बिम यूज करते हैं और बहुत सारे और एलिमेंट्स यूज करते हैं, बट समवेयर आई थिंक डिजिटल स्टिल अभी तक हमारा सेल्स से ही ज्यादा उसका नाता पड़ता है. 3D construction, which is a digital twin, by the way. So, a lot of people are using it right now, but it's still nascent in India. Let's hope that we have a very great feature for that as well. So, a round of applause for the entire panelists, please, all the panelists. Yeah. Can I now request Vipin sir to please come forward and felicitate our panelists out there. Yeah, I will.
Advisory council.
So, okay, so first and foremost, we would like to.
Photo. Please.
This is for Mr. Shajai Jacob. So. So the next one is for Mr. Farman Khalid. Mr. Debmalia, can you come on stage and help us give the remaining ones, please? So we've got Mr. Arvind Singh, CIO, M3M. Why don't you stay there, please? Sherin Dogra, CMO, Bharti Real Estate.
Sherin.
Yeah, Sherin, okay. And last but not the least, Mr. Deepak Dureja.
For sponsorship also.
Yes. Well, let me put it this way, sponsorship के बिना और associations के बिना ऐसा event possible हो नहीं पाता है. With this, we bring the entire day to a conclusion, and I would require all of you to come forward for a photograph with the mementos, please. If you can get the mementos with you, that'll help.
Just get this, don't get the full basket.
So इसके लिए तुम्हें अनाउंस कर दो, बोल दो, किनको देना?
Last not the least, Mr. Kunal Benani ji.
He's made everyone alive. Kept everyone alive. Come this way. I will take this out here.
मुस्कान आ जाओ,
Request for all
आ जाओ, आ जाओ. So Kalyan Chakra is there.